Yeah.
But with that, it's going to bring us into an actual league game that happened at Snapdragon Stadium. Not an amistoso, not a friendly, which Mikey Barras disagrees. No such thing as a friendly. We'll get to that and the highlights and more here for San Diego FC. But after San Diego Wave. Hi.
San Diego Wave had a game on Friday. Abe, you were there. How were the vibes?
It was pretty cool vibes, honestly. They didn't announce the attendance, but it was among, I think, probably top two. Definitely didn't beat out their home opener, but probably second most attended game they've ever had this season.
I think
not ever, sorry, second most attended game this season. But it was definitely good vibes. I think a lot of people were expecting a win. They've been playing really, really well, but I at least had the feeling like Seattle always has a little bit of that extra like just mojo against the Wave.
Yeah, so San Diego Wave, having hit a stride, there's some really good soccer happening in San Diego, to be completely honest. Yes,
Sorry, I have the attendance 15,393.
Look, if you're cruising at 15,000 on a weekday, technically on a Friday in the NWSL, that's good. That's not bad. That's not bad. There's a lot of MLS teams that would, kind of wish they had that. There's a lot of MLB teams that wish they had that. There's a lot of sports teams in general that wish they had 1,000 of those people. But anyways, San Diego Wave FC coming in here back at home. Seasons?
What? What's up?
That's my mom.
Hola.
Hi. San Diego Wave. Maria Silvia Sanchez.
Oh,
Maria
nice.
Sanchez, we'll talk about her on the move, perhaps.
There are rumors.
San Diego facing a strong team again. Now here, I do not like this upside down view of the lineups. Actually, that's terrible. Kaylin Sheridan in goal, not striker. Trinity Armstrong, Peril Maroney, Kristen McNabb, who cemented herself there. You called that, Abe. Hannah Lundqvist, McCaskill in the center, in the sixth role, Kenza Dali in the midfield. Just clearly the class that this team has runs through Kenza Dali. Over in the midfield, you have, I can't tell who that is. Oh my God, Melanie Barcenas.
Yeah.
My eyes are terrible.
Wow.
Cascarino, and you have, please switch that. That's Maria.
It's Adriana Leon that should be on top and Kimi Ascanio playing behind.
Yeah, this is terrible.
It's still a solid lineup, right? I mean, Kristen McNabb had a couple of good performances ever since Kennedy Wesley got that red card, and it just seems that she lost his starting spot for now, Abe.
A little bit. I think that this also comes with Kennedy Wesley playing in Germany alongside Gia Corley, who they played against each other. So they had a long travel back. So I think they're also kind of protecting minutes. Gia Corley, I think, would normally get the start over Melanie Barcenas in the midfield. So it's probably a little bit of rotation there. But I don't think you can use that as an excuse at all, though, because Seattle had like 12 players out for international duty, which is like way more. So it was definitely a rotated side on both teams, but I think they still played pretty well. Melanie Barcenas didn't have the most effective game in the midfield. I think she was at times like she's playing as an individual rather than as like a midfielder that's supposed to be like passing the ball through. She made some okay passes, but with a player like Gia Corley, it's second nature. But with, I think, Melanie Barcenas, she still needs a little bit seasoning in the midfield.
I think at this point, it's safe to say that Kimi Ascanio is probably the best teenager in the team.
Yeah, and it's very difficult for me to sometimes remind myself that this team is fielded by and carried by teenagers at some point. Not only that, soccer in San Diego in general, Czech Bombino, Czech Verhoeven, is carried. Mano Dua is carried by teenagers. So, I think that's something to kind of remind ourselves with. Now, in my age now, it used to be like, oh, este morro de 20 años. Oh, man, who is this guy? And, our legends are retiring. But even then, like 16, 17-year-olds playing professionally is still wild to me. And not only playing professionally, playing incredibly well professionally and starting. So I don't think that used to be I think a discussion where like, well, it's the women's game, this and this and this. You would never see that in the men's game. This is a very physical game. Now you see Lamine Yamal. Now you see
one of the best
Bombino.
in the world.
Now you
one
see
of the best players in the world is currently 17 years old.
100% with like a 5-year-old kid.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it just seemed like Wave in this match. Like you said, Abe, we're on tired legs, and looks like a lot of those international players were still kind of like not to where they're usually at when it comes to playing the style that Jonas Eideball has to play. I mean, you go internationally and you're playing a complete different style, right? And that's always been the struggle for a lot of players that go to their international teams. They have to adapt to a different play style with a different coach, with different players. And I feel like for Wave, they were on this momentum where they were on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
Now you had a couple players leave that were important players in your starting 11, have to play differently, have to play with different players, and you lost that momentum, and it showed in this match.
Abe?
Yeah, I think that Seattle also is like a solid team defensively. So when they're comfortable without the ball, like because the Wave have the ball, they're making the passes, they're always trying to press high and like strong. It just lets you get more tired. And then Seattle's just very comfortable with letting you have the ball. I think Jordan Bug had a pretty good game. She's from San Diego as well. And it's just when a team like that, especially Laura Harvey coached, they're just comfortable on the road, letting the game come to them. I think it just like has provided so many problems with San Diego, and they've never found a real answer for it. I think the one win they had was kind of like a lucky shot from like way out of the box from Emily Van Egmond a year ago. But
ooh,
I don't think
the
Wave.
eternity ago.
Yeah,
Chris says I was at the Wave game, and it felt like any breakthrough they had only got them just past the midfield. And that's what you're saying, Nate, right? Like you're giving them space in order to think about things. It happens with SDFC a lot too. Like these are two possession-based teams that need the ball. They need to control the pace and the momentum. But when you give them that extra time to think about what they're going to do with that ball, sometimes they just kind of work their. It's like a cat in a bag. They just can't work themselves out.
Yeah,
and they just.
And not only that, but I mean, they also got scored. Like they got scored on this banger of a goal too.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's always hard when you're trying and you're going back and forth and it doesn't look like it's going for anybody, and then this outside the box shot goes in. Like, shot by the way, but it's just a great goal, and it just also brings the morale down. But we've seen it with this Wave team that morale does not go down. They still fight, they still compete, and eventually they get the tying goal that we'll get to see in a little bit. And that's the big difference between this team and the team last season, where I still consider this team one of the top teams in the league. I still think they'll end up being a top 3 team in the league. And 619 Soccer may disagree with me. He always tends to do that. But I think this team has what it takes to just turn things around in the game. You know, last season, they get scored on this goal. They put their heads down. They're like, here we go. They got scored on. They get scored a second one, a third one. Now this is a team that fights back and says, no, we can still tie this in. We can still win this game. And they almost did as well.
Oh, look, baby.
Oh, I bet.
Why is this in the highlights?
I think that was the broadcaster's
extended highlights
child that they just had.
Highlights. Congratulations. But yeah, I mean that's the key to any kind of dismantling of San Diego Wave is, you know, they have those pieces as you're saying, Chiba, but it's just a matter of putting things together. I think this was a game that they were going to lose every time. If maybe the best case scenario was tying. Jonas Heideval in the midweek was actually the one that's saying like, no, this is the complement to San Diego Wave and the style they play. Rain will just here. I don't care. Like, I'll get you on a counter. Like, it's fine. I don't care about that possession number. It's okay. But then it was a little bit. I think I told you in the press box at the San Diego SDFC America game. Like, okay, describe this game. Was there a lot of yin or more yang for San Diego Wave? As we see here, another set piece. Cascarino getting a header on.
Was this the first time Maria Sanchez touches the ball in this coming into this game?
She had touched the ball a bit. I think she kind of helped in earning this corner kick, but she had just subbed on in like that first or second minute, I think. So it was definitely like her a big contribution just coming on. She did kind of the same thing in the last game where she scored the 5th goal in their like 5-1 win, which is I think a big deal. So yeah, Maria Sanchez still performing at a high level, but hasn't been getting the starting spot. And then I think Jonas Eidevall even answered a question about that in the post game where he was kind of saying like she has a little bit of a minutes thing right now, so that's probably why she hasn't been starting, which I think does shed a lot of light because we had kind of assumed like, oh, maybe Kimi Ascanio took her spot, but when you think about it from a minutes perspective, maybe it's just trying to be careful over the length of a long season.
I mean, big rumors happen right now that Tigres are on the hunt to get Maria Sanchez back.
Where did you guys see these rumors? I was looking for them.
These are actually stemming from Monterrey, Once Diario, and that's we've had connections with them back with Christina Birkenrode, some me official action, and speaking of,
I can't
know.
confirm.
Oh, me official
sources confirmed.
Oh,
me official will land in the NWSL by July 31st.
Oh, okay, all right. That's
those are confirming previous reports as well. But I also can confirm San Diego Wave has not been one of the teams in the conversations for me official. Nothing has come on the table for me official and her team. Other teams have already put out offers, but she will be landing in the NWSL this summer.
Whoa.
Well, you heard it here first, folks. SanDiego.Futbol. We have sources, guys. Like,
you heard it probably on ESPN first, but they reported this. I think we're just confirming reports, but I think it'd be interesting to see where she lands. Chelsea, she kind of lost her starting spot in Chelsea.
Yeah, she did after the 20 ACL
injury. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Emma Hayes was like her main person, and then when you have a new coach, maybe it's gonna be really hard to kind of earn that starting spot back. So I think it'll be very interesting to see what team she ends up with.
And if you're Emma Hayes, you tell Chicago Red Stars.
I think that would be really good. Chicago.
That would be a good landing spot. I agree with that, Abe. But I think if you're somebody who's wanting to see some minutes from your players and the U.S. Women's National Team play, and say, hey, I need you to get some minutes, essentially some time.
You're encouraging Mia to go to the NWSL.
I'm encouraging Mia to play and earn her spot. I want a San Diegan in the World Cup. I want a San Diegan in the World Cup every time. And I mean, we can talk about just how much people want to be in the national team, especially for the U.S. or not. You see this Christian Pulisic thing, and versus Landon Donovan versus Christian Pulisic. That
it's a debate right now.
Yeah, it's again going back into the national team and what an honor it is, and just Christian Pulisic not wanting to play.
Yes.
Yeah, it's interesting. What side everybody's kind of landing on for that one, but San Diego Wave once again have. That chance again, that premature pyrotechnics, I believe it was called.
I mean, again,
great save. Excellent save.
This is what I'm talking about with the San Diego Wave team, right? Like they were this close to pulling off a comeback on this match, and that was Cascarino with another shot. I agree with something 619 Soccer has said in the past. Like this Wave team is one Cascarino, one Ken Sadali injury away from potentially not being the team that they are now, because these are big difference makers, but that's not the case right now. I mean, you can say that about a lot of teams in the world. You can say, "Oh, Barcelona's one Lamine Yamal away from not being as good as they are," and that's just facts all across the board. But the fact is that they are healthy, they are playing great, and they are helping this team dominate and play great soccer. It just wasn't one of those games that it was written for them to win.
That's that right there. That's still frame. If you're listening, watch Two Balls and a Mic on YouTube. We have video. We review footage. We talk tactics sometimes, but we talk about everything soccer in San Diego. But this still right here that we're showing is the ball just tucked in and touching both crossbar and post at once. It's when the DVD sign hits the corner. Like it just never happens, and that's just satisfying to see as a goalkeeper, and to see it go out. Oh man, you want to talk about it? You ever watch that?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It almost bounced and
Almost.
hit her on the deflection too. Like I
Yeah.
didn't see that until he just showed me that angle, but like it could have very easily just hit her back and went right back into the
Yeah.
goal. Like look, that's so close.
That's a
Ooh.
save of the week.
Save of the week, 100%. But like, it's just I love the trajectory of the shot. Actually, the smoke gets me. Like this is a good one, right there. But in order to see and really appreciate the power of the shot, like wait, no mames, wait. Señora Sanchez, can Tony come out and play? Actually, what you just did there, playback project, is something that got me in trouble back in the day, because I knew what the answer was, but I knew that my parents had a soft spot for like me having friends. That sounds sad.
Oh, like telling your friends, oh, if you ask her,
if
they
you
can't
ask
say
them,
no.
they can't say no, but they would say no, and they would get mad at me, like because they would know I would tell them to do that, and so they'd be like, no, no puede salir, and then they tell me, why are you telling? Like, yeah, porque le dices que te preguntan? Yeah, that's
Damn, no te
exactly
dejan
what would
salir,
happen.
güey, qué pedo.
No, dude. I mean,
Con razón.
I'd have to cross at 5 a.m. to come to school, dude.
Yeah, yo también.
Can't be doing ruffian activities in Mexico. But like, okay, like the power of the shot just cuts air.
Boom.
Great stuff by San Diego Wave. Better.
Todavía madre. Hey, no puede ser eso. She's watching.
But yeah, San Diego Wave. Again, in this trajectory, still, does it look like they have a chance at this point? Abe, this is just anybody's game
To play in the playoffs, to win the playoffs, like
to
or
win
in the
this
game itself.
Win this game.
At this point, it felt like no. I think Seattle was just finding a better rhythm offensively too,
Mhm.
like taking advantage of like better counterattacks, and they had kindly worn down the Wave, and then Kennedy Wesley too kind of was. She subbed on in the center back spot, and then it was interesting. I think Hannah Lundqvist came off, and Trinity Armstrong moved over to the right back position, which it says a lot to me about like how much you value your fullbacks and Trinity Armstrong to like put her up in that position and trust her to like keep playing high. And like Kennedy Wesley came on was like a little bit iffy, but like Trinity Armstrong in the fullback spot was pretty good. But you have like Daniela Arias, Quincy McMahon on the bench there available. So like I don't know, maybe that's like kind of a odd coaching decision, but I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
I don't know, man. It's like I want to see Daniela Arias play. Like I really do. Like I mean, she's an experienced center back. Like why not give her some minutes? I mean, she played all the minutes on international duty. I guess she's on tired legs as well, but I think she's a player that could have stepped up in a moment like this with that experience and bring some calmness on that back line, saying, hey, don't panic. We're fine. We're tied. Let's try to at least secure this tie. But then you have mistakes here. There's deflection. Kennedy Wesley pushed up too much. I don't know why she's pushing up as much late into a game like this. But, you end up giving up a goal and you give up the 3 points at home.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Daniela Arias, Colombian international player.
Mm-hmm.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Andres Reyes, also a Colombian defender.
Is he Colombian? I don't know where he's from.
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he is.
I think
so what's
I've actually
Colombian defenders in San Diego? Like they don't happen. Like is it the same embassy? Because I know one of them. I mean, at least for Daniela Arias, the visa was an issue for the longest.
I don't know, dude. Jonas has it out for the Latino.
I saw her doing an interview one time at Wave practice, so she does exist.
Does
least.
exist.
I do know that.
So I have the where is Andres Reyes sign? Like Andres Reyes, ¿qué pedo? Like I'm
Andres Reyes. And come on.
But yeah,
worst signing in San Diego FC history.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, you never know. They could use a center back, but we don't know the extent of Patty McNair's injury.
Yes, we will definitely get to that because Patty McNair is indeed listed as out.
Even with 7 minutes of stoppage time, to me, it didn't feel like the Wave were truly threatening with a goal chance.
No, I think that pace was just kind of set and it was like quicksand, right? Like you just once you're in there, it's just either the more you fight it, the more you're gonna just kind of sink yourselves in, and you're gonna tire yourselves out. You're not gonna find it being the goal. You're just not. It's just not gonna be your night, and it wasn't San Diego Wave's night at all. San Diego Wave go down 2-1. As you said, 7 minutes stoppage time wasn't enough. But yeah, I mean, it's still a good time celebrating like it was the championship there on the
Nah,
I
but
bench.
think maybe
it's pretty
Laura
cool.
Harvey just like hates San Diego.
Probably. I mean,
Why not?
it's 3 points, and you cut like you're racking up those points, right? I mean, San Diego with that drops from second to fourth place, just 2 points away from second place still. So I mean, it's just so crazy. We all know this about the NWSL. The points are just
Give me a trophy, guys. Like you saw that she's watching.
you're like, and then you're 2-3 straight losses away from falling out of playoffs, and then 3 wins in a row to fighting for first or second place. So it's always tricky, but I think the San Diego Wave team is proving to be a playoff team and a contender in a way. I mean, Casey Curran is just that good that at this point it's kind of hard to see anyone else winning it this season. But San Diego Wave is way better than they were last season. There's no doubt about that. Anything fun happened post match?
Yeah, Abe.
I don't think anything crazy happened. I think
Nothing
I spoke
wacky?
with Jonas Eideval. He had some pretty normal things to say after a loss, talking about the travel and international players, but at the same time he's kind of just it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like sometimes
It's
coaches like they don't
mid-season.
like
It's
they're
mid,
not
yeah.
blaming anyone. They're not just like it just happens.
Yeah, it wasn't their night, and I think that's what it is. San Diego Wave, as you see here, still sitting comfortably in fourth. I would say comfortably is fine. Still not your top 3 predictions, Giva. But San Diego Wave.
Pero last week.
Chiva, damos. But yeah, so with that,
For our
yes.
predictions, we all got this one wrong. Tony and I had a San Diego Wave win. Abe had a tie. They do face Houston this Friday. Houston, one of the bottom place teams. Any predictions for this Friday, gentlemen?
2-1 San Diego Wave win. Houston have not looked great.
I'm going to go ahead and say a 2-0 win for Wave. A road clean sheet. Mr. Tony Sanchez?
I do believe the San Diego Wave will come back up. Let's give them a 2-0.
Copion.
Very interesting to see Danielle Colaprico against this Wave team. She was kind
Revenge
of important to the
games doesn't work out.
midfield, but
Revenge games just haven't worked out.
no, they haven't. That's true. But I think I don't want to say she was the problem in the midfield, but having McCaskill move back into the 6th position has looked a lot better than Colaprico did.
That is true. But I mean, we'll see what happens on Friday. I think we're all pretty much predicting a San Diego Wave win. Anything else Wave related, everyone?
I think that's it. Do you guys think they have a major hole they need to fill for the transfer window? Because we heard these transfer rumors about Mia Fischel, supposedly Maria Sanchez. Do you guys think they have a hole on their roster that they should fill?
I think they just need more experience. Something with experience. You can really put them anywhere just because there is a lack of experience. You have really good youngsters, but just a little bit more leadership maybe that would fit with this club. Maybe you get that with Arias. Not too sure, and I can't really say because the team itself isn't complete. Right there really isn't somewhere where maybe 619 Sports, yeah, maybe a Favor Manual replacement at least. Or somebody that can get you some minutes. I will say that Favor Emmanuel, and this is what I was going to say last week before that mess of a show, where she was released by San Diego Wave. And so I think San Diego Wave fans should maybe feel disappointed about that signing, but at the same time should be a little bit relieved just because there's some insight. Faber did have it was very heavy footed in training. And with that, you get some physicality in, you get some good training in, but there were times in several instances where it was a little too much during training, and could have really taking out a teammate or two a couple times. And so I'm not saying that that's pointing to the reason of that release, but if you're a San Diego Wave fan, it's not the worst case because you don't have somebody who could potentially hurt a player who's starting on a game day in the starting 11. So take that as you will. But maybe, yeah, I could say that. Do you have anybody in mind, Abraham?
Yeah, I think I would just back up what you said, midfield, and then as 619 soccer, maybe another right back. Like that could be an interesting thing to add. Hannah Lundqvist has looked pretty okay on the defensive end. On the offensive end, I think she's kind of taken a bit of a step back, but she still has it in her bag, I think, to perform at a high level. So we'll see. I think on the attacking front, they're pretty solid. Like if Chiamaka comes back and takes over the backup role for Kira Carusa, I think that would be really good. So, and then midfield, I mean, Mackenzie Robbie can play anywhere.
I mean, be prepared for San Diego Wave to potentially lose a player or two.
You think so? Like trade? Well,
yeah.
They also like approved you can loan players within the league itself as like that's a very new thing to the NWSL. I think a lot of teams are going to take advantage of that, especially like some of the worst teams.
Yeah.
Like if you know your season's over, you guys have no chance. You might want to loan a player to like San Diego so they can perform at a better level.
Yeah, no, 100%. So I mean, San Diego Wave is still in a good place. Exciting stuff for them. The summer of soccer is starting again in San Diego. I think there's been fatigue on just soccer in general. Just Snapdragon in general. I see people just kind of going on both sides, on San Diego Wave, on San Diego FC, just kind of like, ugh, que hueva. Like,
it's so much soccer.
Game. Wow. It is.
Pero la gente quería MLS, no?
This is what we wanted. This is what people wanted. You got your soccer. And we're here to talk about it. SanDiego.Futbol. You can check out everything that has to do with soccer in San Diego in the written form on our website, SanDiego.Futbol, where you can find the fantastic and excellent writings and stylings of the great and powerful Abe Cepeda. Abe, I mean, we don't really talk about it, but like, sell us to you, to them. Like, why should people check you out? Like, you have some really good stuff on here, man. Like, I don't think people noted enough that like you're a good writer.
I struggle with like self-promotion, but yeah, I do have a lot of fun writing and talking about what happened in the games. I've been mostly only focusing on game recaps and stuff. So if you didn't get to watch the game, or if you did get to watch the game and you want to learn a little bit more about what happened, what the players have to say, what Jonas Eideval had to say, a little bit of stats. I try not to go too heavy on the stats. I want it to be accessible. So I think something I try to pride myself on in all writing is that like anyone can read it. So if you don't watch soccer, if you don't know soccer, if you know someone that doesn't know soccer, they can use this to know what happened in the game, what's been going on in San Diego and stuff. So I wrote two things. One thing about the Wave this weekend after they lost their undefeated streak, and then I wrote something about SDFC as well. There were so many opportunities to talk about, like Seattle continues its reign over Wave. Like there was a lot of them. I think I included one in my lead or something, but SDFC as well. That was a pretty interesting game, fun to write about. I had some fun doing that.
Damn it, that's exactly how you started this.
Yeah, what is
Seattle continued its dominant reign over San Diego Wave. I love that from you.
Yeah.
You had fun with it. I like it. You do have fun with it, man. And I
it.
appreciate you doing it. Not a lot of people are doing it. There's people out there who are doing it and don't know what they're doing. But
yeah, I mean, I will say there was a thing this weekend from one of the local TV outlets. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Oh yes,
Like,
that's actually a gaffe.
Yeah,
Actually, I mean,
I hate to criticize media and stuff. I know it's hard. We have a lot of work. Like it's a lot of work. People like every journalist in San Diego doesn't get paid well enough. I definitely know that's a fact. And like, but issues are issues, and I think it's okay to point out when there's issues. And like what Fox 5 did this weekend, I don't often watch local TV news, but sometimes I do.
Did you watch that live?
No, I didn't, but someone did point it out to us on social media, and okay.
El Tío Glenn. I'll quote it. I'll read it. You don't have to be a big soccer guy to cover local sports, but you better have someone proofread your copy before going on air. This from somebody who has a lot of spelling mistakes on tweets and stuff. So
Yeah, you spelled
100%.
Seattle wrong in the thing under here too. I fixed it for you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. See, this I appreciate you. It's not because I don't know how to spell it, it's against the proofreading part. But this is flat out embarrassing. SDFC beat Copa America 3-0 tonight. Women's Copa America included on the graphic. That's just funny. Like I know we've come across Julian a couple times. You know, he's a guy that covers soccer for Fox 5 sometimes, and you know, he's a funny dude. Just a good guy from my interactions with him. But
I mean, this isn't Julian's fault either.
it's not.
Like,
It's not. It really isn't. He's just reading the thing.
Like,
He's just reading the thing.
yeah,
Ron Burgundy,
just-
we've seen that before.
Yeah, it's a you know, it's a Bruce Almighty and that type of thing. Sometimes that's just real.
Yeah,
Has a
see,
score
we messed
bracket.
up the score for this game too.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah,
that
we
was
said wave 1-2-1.
No, it wasn't. What are you doing? You're pointing things out that shouldn't be pointed out,
No,
guys.
we're allowed to admit our mistakes and issue
No, we do.
retraction.
And I love that people call us out for it because it's true.
Yeah, everyone makes
you're
mistakes.
supposed to be the freaking expert.
Expert at soccer, I'll give you that. Good at soccer, pointing out, I'll give you that. Expert at spelling, expert at running a show sometimes. I don't know. But here we are. San Diego Wave lose 2-1, and we'll be bouncing back later on this week.